20 minutes of sales training to close $1 million a month in 2026. I've taken 5 high-ticket closers, one including myself, to all closing $1 million a month in cash collected, each earning $100,000 a month in commissions, and all accomplishing that reality within 17 months or less. Every week, I teach a private live training inside my sales mastermind on how to become a unicorn closer. Closers invest a minimum of $12,000 each to get access to these trainings inside the Unicorn Closer Mastermind. This is an exclusive training from one of those sessions on how to close $1 million a month in 2026. It starts with a few wins from members of the mastermind and then gets right into the private training. So if you're a high ticket closer who in 2026 wants to earn $100,000 a month in commissions, then you need to watch this training until the very end, because this is going to show you exactly how to earn $100,000 a month in commissions by closing $1 million a month in 2026. So without any further ado, let's crack into the training.
All right, let's kick off with our usual wins. So who's got a win they want to share? Alex Roberts, what's going on?
How's it going, man? Yeah, I've got a win. Today alone, I've closed like 6 deals. I've closed like all of my calls. I'm at like, I made like 5K comms today so far. And I'm already at like 10K for the month. So I'm like crushing everyone in my company. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, I think, was UM's recent call review. The biggest takeaway I got was actually like, instead of looking into what I'm doing like granularly on the calls, it's actually just zooming out and viewing the call on a way more holistic level. And my calls have been like next level recently. Like I've got 3 calls today that I was just so proud of, and I've just been so much more like present. But another thing is some of the trainings you've done recently. One of them was holding my prospects to a much higher standard, and rather than like minimizing the commitment, I've been making the commitment seem way bigger and holding them to a higher standard and getting them to commit more, and they have been. But then also, I think a reflection of that has been holding myself to a higher standard recently, just in all areas of my life, and feeling like I've departed my lower self, and that's reflected more on my calls because of that. So yeah, on track to a very big month.
Awesome.
My win is just I had a massive, just like a night and day difference since the last Wednesday, dude. Like basically taking every single person, let me just mute this, every single person to like the finish line who like they wanted to do it, close a bunch more people. It just feels like I have more tools in my, my utility belt. So before I was kind of getting stumped at certain parts, and now I have like 5 different ways that I can take the conversation. It just feels way better. I just don't feel as rigid as I was. So that's huge for me. I kind of have like a new energy going into these calls.
What was it about whatever's happened a week ago that shifted that for you?
Yeah, I think I was just overthinking. Okay, it's like I was going through the data, and like I was also overthinking how to do the opportunity costs, and so yeah, like also what you mentioned in the DMs of like the different ways that you would take the conversation. I was like, oh, okay. So it was literally just tiny parts of the discovery, which were still like there's like a missing link from going from the data to the next part of the call to the next part, and now I feel like I have those, if that makes sense.
Nice. All right, Chris, last one,
man?
and then we'll jump into our training. What's
Yeah,
up?
camera's not on right now. Yeah, I've made the most of the small amount of leads as I'm fixing the funnel. So last 6 set calls, closed them all, got credit card. They all showed up. Closed 5 out of the 6. The 6th, I unsold her. I didn't even pitch her. A week and a half later, she follows up with me, and she gets on the phone, and she was a different person. She tied me down, and she thanked me for the conversation, and she went to go get a therapist. And there was a legit energetic shift in her, in everything. It was like a new person. And, people rarely come back, right? We all know that. And she came back, and I unsold her because she needed to be unsold. It wasn't a fucking technique. It was like, you're not going to be successful in the way you're showing up right now. And at the end of the call, she showed her gratitude, and it felt great.
Love that. There you go,
Yep.
guys. Do the right thing. The right things happen. If someone's meant to come back and they're meant to work with you, they will do that off of their own volition. Whereas if you try and push someone over the line and then at the very last minute they hang up, or they say they need to get their wallet or whatever, they don't come back because you were wanting it for them more than they wanted the program and the result for themselves.
Yeah, and one last thing, all PIFs, by the way, all PIFs. And
Nice.
that's been a huge shift. has completely changed the game for me as far as how we deliver the pricing, and it's all PIFs. So leads are down, but cash collected is up.
All right, folks, let's jump into some trainings and then we'll jump into our core reviews after that. So I just filmed a video on the $4.3 million a month cash collected result for Skylar, Nicole, Jacob, Justin, and Maurice's team. So that's 3 closers, 2 setters. Across 3 closers, they did 4.3 million a month in cash collected. And I want to share with you the 4 things that you need to maximize as a closer so that you can replicate those same results, getting to $100,000 a month, which for the business owner would be you're generating them $1 million a month in cash collected. So there's 4 things that you need to be able to lock in on if you want to be able to get that same result. And this is very mathematical, guys. So this is not, we're not going deep into the spiritual side or whatever. We're just going into the very tangible things here. And then I'll break down how you can do this. And so you as a high ticket closer, you need to really be cognizant, which means aware of this and computing it every week for you to be able to hit those numbers. Okay. So the 4 things are close rate, pretty obvious. You need to have a high close rate. Second one, you need to have a high cash collected. One thing's having a high close rate, but getting everybody on a 12-month payment plan. You're not going to generate a massive amount in a 30-day period for your commissions or the business if you don't work on cash collected. Okay? The third one is consistency, meaning you have to be able to do that day after day after day, week after week after week, at least in this case for 4 weeks straight. Most salespeople, they could have a decent close rate. They could have pretty decent cash collected. Oh, getting a bunch of PIFs. They do that for a week, and then all of a sudden they forget how to close, or they can only close people on payment plans. You have to be able to do this sustainably. Okay? And then the 4th and final thing is price point. Now, I'm not referring to the price point that you've been given by your offer owner. This is the price. I'm referring to what is your capability to close someone at higher prices. Can you close the same number of people at your current level of skill on a 30K offer as you can on a 10K offer? So these are the 4 things that you need to work on if you want to get to the ability to generate for yourself $100,000 a month in commissions, or for the business owner, $1 million a month in cash collected. You have to work on your close rate. You have to work on your ability to collect the most amount upfront. You have to work on your consistency, and you have to work on your price point. Those are the 4 metrics when we get very granular of a unicorn closer. You could literally create an Excel tracker for this. You've seen me previously, guys, do the radar chart. So you've got these kind of radar charts, and someone's very high here, very low here, kind of in the middle here, and then, we'll put them here, there. And so there's like this graph like this, and this we'll call it close rate. This will say cash collected. This one will say price point, and this one will say consistency. And you could literally look at that and say, okay, this person just can't fucking close people at a higher price point. Plus, they're very, very, very bad at getting most of the money up front. They're pretty consistent. Their close rate's pretty good, 50% close rate. That's pretty decent. And they can do that for week after week after week. But they can only close someone at 5K. And even when they do 5K, it's on 12-month payment plan. So you have to be measuring yourself against these 4 things. And then you have to be working on them, guys. You have to work on your ability to run a deeper discovery so you can collect more cash. You have to work on your ability, like Alex said, to hold yourself to a higher standard so you can hold your prospects to a higher standard, which means they'll give you more money up front. You have to start spending more in your personal life. You have to increase your financial thermostat. If $15,000, $20,000 is a load of money to you guys, you can only fake it on a sales call to try and make it seem like not a big amount of money to the prospect. It's not real. It's not genuine if that amount is a lot of money to you. So these are all going to tie into everything in the mastermind in regards to internal mastery plus scriptless selling. But then you can actually look at it very tangibly as these measurements. So when we say, what is a unicorn closer? And someone says, I literally want the numbers in an Excel sheet. I could show you like this, closer A, closer B, and then we've got close rate, excuse the handwriting, cash collected, consistency, and we've got price point. This closer's close rate is 50%. This closer's close rate is 20%. This guy gets 80% of the cash collected up front on average, and this person gets 30%. This one typically gets into or stays out of a rut for 3 weeks in a row. This one typically lasts 1 week before they go into a sales rut. And this one, they can only really sell, this one can sell the offer at 20K, and this one struggles to sell anything less over 10K. So when you look at what is a unicorn closer, looking at the stats, this is what a unicorn closer is compared to an average closer. And just to give you guys a little bit of a taster of the next level for some of you in terms of maybe going into manager offer, the manager offer owner license, or going into sales management or whatever, the video I was recording was basically showing that the stats between this one, which is a unicorn closer, and the stats of I'll just call them an average closer. That was not how nice I phrased it in the video, but we'll call them average closer. The difference is 7 to 1. It takes 7 average closers to replicate 1 unicorn closer. When you actually look at their ability to sell at a higher price point, their ability to be consistent, their ability to collect more cash up front, and their close rate, on average, you need 7 closers on your sales team to meet 1 unicorn closer. Going a little bit deeper for some of you that might be interested in this later down the road, there is 3 problems that creates for a business owner. Problem number 1, stress, headache, micromanaging, etc. Just simply having a sales team like Tax Alchemy's team that would have needed 21 closers versus 3 would be an absolute fucking nightmare. 21 closers versus 3, okay? The second negative thing is that the leads aren't free for the business owner. So even if the firepower of 21 average closers could be the same as 3, the amount of burn, meaning how many leads are just lost because these closers suck, is significantly more. So even if you had business A and business B, and they both, the total cash collected was $4.3 million for both businesses. Business B had 21 closers and business A had 3 unicorn closers. The difference in the actual profit is massive, because to get to 4.3 million with 21 shit closers, it will cost them anywhere from 3 to 10 times as much to get a sale in terms of the cost per lead, because the closers are burning through all the leads. What does that mean? That means the business can't scale as much because they can't reinvest the money back into the marketing because they're burning through the marketing. And the third and final problem, which nobody ever really talks about, is it is fucking embarrassing to a business owner, his business brand and his personal brand, the fucking terrible sales process that average closers take your prospects through. And it only takes one of those leads to go and create a YouTube video, write something on Google, or do a Trustpilot review or whatever to say, oh, I spoke to blank closer from blank business, and they were trying to manipulate me. They were running a bunch of word tracks on me. They weren't listening to me. They were trying to push me into a corner. And the business overnight can be destroyed, many times irreversibly. So the 3 damages to a business owner of not having unicorn closers are these 3. Now, some of you might be thinking, yes, but I'm not a business owner, so please remind me how this is relevant to me. All of you guys need to know why you are more valuable to a business owner as a unicorn closer, because you want to get on their offer. And I'm not saying on your interview call, you're going to whip out a whiteboard and walk them through all of this. Well, if you don't hire me and you hire 21 average closers instead of 3 unicorn closers, blah, 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 you could, but I'm not saying that that's what you need to do. But you just simply knowing how much more valuable you are gives you conviction. You don't have to explicitly tell them that shit closers are embarrassing. Them having a bunch of babysat closers is a headache, and the fact that they won't be able to scale as much. You just knowing these things, you will carry yourself differently on the interview. When you know your worth, you will carry yourself completely differently. And so this is your worth. If you put in the work and become a unicorn closer, as it was on my pre-call checklist, and as many of you have put on yours, what the offer owner has, I know this will sound backwards, having a great offer, I can find anywhere else. But what I am, a unicorn closer, they ain't going to find anywhere else. I flip the script in my belief that I'm the one that is valuable. Just like on my pre-call checklist, it said, what we have to offer, the product or service, cannot be gotten anywhere else. But the money that this prospect could or couldn't give me, I can just get that anywhere else. It's no big deal. So I have the value, not the prospect. I have the value as the unicorn closer, not the business owner. Now, don't swing that too far that it means you've got a big ego, but just simply knowing from a place of groundedness, a place of relaxation, that you being a unicorn closer is massively valuable to an offer owner or a sales manager, if they're the one hiring you, for these 3 reasons. And this is what the stats are going to look like differently. And this is the 4 things that you're, as a unicorn closer, able to bring to the table. Does that all make sense, folks? Good. Anybody got any questions on that? Okay,
yeah.
Why?
I have a question.
Put in the chat why that was useful. Thinking more systematically. Yep. Perspective, 100%. 4 areas to evaluate and to track on. 100%, Pete. You are a critical piece in the chessboard for an offer owner or a manager. You are not in the same category as a closer, and you're just a better version of them. You're not a better version. You're a totally different breed of animal. You don't need babysitting. You don't cost the business owner more money in terms of putting leads on your calendar that you just burned through. You don't embarrass the brand with stupid scripted discoveries that you run prospects through and try and manipulate them and box them in with fucking ice cream truck analogies. You're actually a real human being. You're an asset to the company. Okay? All right. Let's go through the final piece of training, which kind of ties together all of these things, which is...
So there you have it. You now know exactly what it's going to take if you want to close $1 million a month in cash collected and to earn yourself over $100,000 a month in commissions, like 5 other closers have done by following this same exact blueprint, having the training, the mentorship, the community, and the support that you receive on the inside of the Unicorn Closer Mastermind. Let me ask you a question. Do you really think that you are going to become a high-ticket closer who is closing $1 million a month in cash collected when you are not investing in yourself at the highest level to join the next level mastermind? Do you really think there is a way for you to be a congruent leader who is bringing into your life a life-changing amount of money whilst you continue to sit on the outside saying to yourself, when I make a little bit more money, then I'll get on the inside? Have you also been on a sales call where someone said, gulp, that's a lot of money. That is out of my comfort zone. But they nutted up and they got on the inside of your program and they did it anyway. The question is, are you going to keep expecting more of your prospects, wanting them to give you money, meanwhile you're not willing to invest your money to go to the next level as a high-ticket closer? That is incongruence 101. And one of the secrets to earning more money as a high ticket closer is to become the next level version of yourself. One of those things is to become congruent, to show up as a buyer when it's your time to make a buying decision, the same way that you want and expect your prospects to show up when it's time for them to buy on your calls. If you've not been doing that, which I know you haven't because you are still sitting on the outside, then how much longer are you going to expect more of your prospects than you are willing to demonstrate yourself as a leader, as a high ticket closer? If the answer is, I'm not going to go another day being an incongruent high ticket closer, then you know what you need to do. Below this video, there is a link. Click the link, go to the checkout page, take action, step up, be a leader, and I'll see you on the inside of the Unicorn Closer Mastermind.